Good evening. Welcome to the Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting for Monday, July 10th, 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, 139 Main Street, Raleigh. Call the meeting to order. The first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As chairman, I don't often get an agenda that I can enjoy, have some appreciation for, but we do have one tonight. We have a 7 o'clock appointment and a special appointment, and then we have citizens query at 7:10, 7:15. We have a 7:15. We have an appointment with Police Chief Scott Dumas, and 7:30 we have an appointment with Germany. And then general business, old business, and new business. So we'll go to our 7 o'clock appointment. Mary Ann Lavasser and Representative Brad Hill for a proclamation presentation to Ms. Lavasser for being recognized by the legislature and Governor Charles Baker as Raleigh's unsung hero.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And a couple of weeks ago, the Massachusetts Commission on Women, they have this presentation every year where we look for heroines of the year. And as you know, I reached out to the town of Raleigh because I know a lot of women have done a lot of great things in this town. And everybody I talked to said, you need to recognize Mary Ann. So we put your name in, as you know, and you were accepted by the Massachusetts Commission on Women for all that you have done for the town of Raleigh. You've gone above and beyond, as we now know, for this community and its citizenry. For those of you who don't know, there's a big presentation that takes place in the Great Hall. There's many women across the Commonwealth who are recognized, like Mary Ann was. We have guest speakers that come in and recognize women for what they have done throughout the Commonwealth. And at that presentation, Senator Tarr and I presented our House and Senate proclamations to Mary Ann for the job well done. But tonight, what we also wanted to present to her, and Bruce is stuck in traffic. He just called me because he wanted to be here. He's actually on 128. But we have this proclamation actually from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for Mary Ann Moe. On behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I'm pleased to confer upon you this governor's citation in recognition of being honored by the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women as the 2017 Unsung Heroine for the town of Raleigh. It was given the 7th day of July in the year 2017, presented to you by Governor Charles D. Baker and our Lieutenant Governor Karen E. Polito. They wanted to show their congratulations to you as well. So
thank you
here's
very
their
much.
proclamation. We're all very honored for all that you have done. Oh yes, so photo op, ladies and gentlemen. This is done that. So turn right to our photographer.
Perfect. Big smile. There we go. No blinking. Okay. Whoop. Up. Got a little problem here. A little technical difficulty, but we'll get through it.
Take the lens cover off, Bob.
Yeah. There we go. And we'll do it again. Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you
So
so
swing
much.
around.
Congratulations
Thank you
to
very
you.
Bo, swing around to your husband.
Yes.
You don't want to leave him out. Thank you.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thanks again, I
Oh,
appreciate
no,
it.
you're very, very
Thank you,
welcome.
everyone. Thank you.
Not to be outdone, we have the Board of Selectmen would like to make a proclamation, and I need a motion to
I'll make a motion to issue the proclamation.
I'll
for Mary
second.
Ann Lavasser.
Motion has been made and seconded to issue the proclamation. All those in favor say aye.
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 if I signed the wrong spot.
Okay, I'll sign under your name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, could you please read that proclamation?
Yeah. Thank you. And if you give me a second, I'll just go through the proclamation. We, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Raleigh, Massachusetts, by the virtue of the authority vested in us by the people of Raleigh as elected officials, do hereby proclaim that 2017 unsung heroine, Mary Ann Mo Lavasser, having tirelessly dedicated her time to the people of Raleigh through her continued efforts to fundraise, build, and renovate the Kids Kingdom Playground at Eris Park, along with her work with the Solace for Stephanie organization, formed after the passing of Raleigh resident Stephanie Jenkins from cancer, which has supported many local families battling cancer, and her countless hours volunteering for the town of Raleigh through numerous committees. The Board of Selectmen wishes to bestow its most sincere gratitude. We urge all citizens of the town of Raleigh, its community leaders, businesses, and government officials to recognize this achievement and service. In witness whereof, we have hereby set our hands in the seal of the town of Raleigh this 10th day of July, 2017. Joseph Perry, Chairman; Robert Snow, Vice Chairman; Clifford Pierce, Clerk; G. Robert Murray, and Dave Peterson.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very honored.
Congratulations.
Certainly appreciate being recognized. Thank you.
Mo, can we have a picture with you and the chairman?
Oh, sure. Mr. Chairman.
Yes, why don't you go behind there and take a picture?
Okay. Flowers, Joe.
Oh,
Great.
yeah. Let's show
Oh,
you.
thank you. Thank
Bob
you
Snow
very
hit the button.
Okay.
No blinking, big smile. There we go. All right, get in there, guys. Dave, where'd you go?
Come on, Dave.
I'm behind the scenes
Okay, big smile. Perfect.
Okay, thank you again.
Congratulations.
Really
Thank you.
sincerely
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. Again, twice.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes,
What's the budget look?
okay.
Okay, we'll have citizens' query from 7:12 till 7:17. We have a 7:15 appointment coming up with Police Chief Scott Dumas, and we have a 7:30 appointment, and we want to take a couple of minutes to go through general business. General business number one. General business number one. Please accept this email as my official resignation from my PT part-time dispatch position with the Raleigh Police Department. As we have discussed, my schedule at work at this time does not allow me to work many of the shifts that are offered to me. I do not want to tie up that PT position so that you can hopefully hire someone that is more available. I would like to thank you and Captain Sedgwick for the opportunity to work for your department, and I am hoping that when my schedule finally frees up, that you will give me another opportunity to work for you. Sincerely, Paul Polonsky.
Give you a motion to accept the,
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in,
with
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We said with regrets, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, just let me mention, number 2, we have a road opening permit for National Grid to open 689 Haverhill Street for a new gas surface, and it was signed off per our regulations. So we'll end general business on that note. Oh,
Mind if I file them? I got a few officers that are gonna have to file around the room, is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, bring them on in.
Bring him on in.
Wait a minute. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'll share with you.
Morning, guys. They can come right around here if they want. How you doing? How are you?
Chief, how you doing? What's up, fellas? Oh,
Hello.
one big happy family again, huh? What can I say? I stand next to Debbie.
After we're done this, can we do old business number 2? Stay updated on the Wi-Fi stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
I had like last night.
Well, you brought a few friends with you. That's awesome. That is really wonderful. We have Police Chief Scott Dumas to present Matthew Zev for appointment to the sergeant's position and for swearing-in ceremony. Police Chief Scott Dumas is here tonight to present Matthew Zev for the appointment to the open sergeant position at the Police Department effective July 11th, 2017. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, back in December when Lieutenant May retired and subsequently Captain Sedgwick was promoted, we had a void in the sergeant's role, which we left vacant until this year, to the end of the fiscal year where we started that process to become effective in the new fiscal year. In May, we started the process. We have several people in the department that were eligible to be promoted to the rank. 4 have actually sat down with me during the interview process. 2 ultimately applied, for various reasons, with 1 only being eligible to apply. That being said, a lot of people could have mailed it in. They could have said, well, I got the experience, I got the training, I'm just going to mail it in. Well, I can tell you that Matthew didn't. Detective Ziv, there was a 3-phase process in which we had. We had a written test to start off, and then an oral board with outside commanders, and then the chief's interview. Matt scored a 94 on the written test. He scored a 90 on the written test and 94 on the structured oral board, and then 85% on the chief's interview. And it was not an easy process, and the whole process is designed to look at the character of the person, to look at the leadership, to look at the mentorship in which they can bring to in the department and to grow with the department. Matt was hired in 2005 by Chief Barry, who's in the room. Clearly, he saw something in Matt that has continued, that I've seen in that short period of time that I've been here. Matt was hired full-time in 2007 and promoted to detective in 2014 when Detective Gamache, who's also in the room, retired. And he's done an outstanding job, in that role as detective. Matt comes with a bachelor's degree from Salem State in criminal justice, and I can tell you during the process, the questions that were asked of him all had to do with leadership and how he's going to develop not only himself but the men and women of the Raleigh Police Department. So. Even though Matt was the only candidate, his performance in that role, it didn't matter how many people would have been going up against him, he would have been tough to beat. So I enthusiastically recommend Detective Matt Ziv to be promoted to the rank of Sergeant for the Raleigh Police Department. Please ignore the chevrons on the street, but I didn't really jump the gun. I figured maybe you guys. As you can see, he's got a tremendous amount of support around the department, not only the current members, off-duty. You have Officer Ratani, who's in the full-time academy, Detective Gamache, again, who's retired, and obviously Chief Barry, who hired him. It'd be a tough crowd if you said no.
Well, Matt and I met auspiciously across the way at the library as I was breaking in. But he's proved himself to be a great officer, and we're happy to promote him to sergeant. We have a motion?
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve Matt's promotion to sergeant. All those in favor say aye.
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 Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Can I just say one thing about Matt? I sat down with Matt, and he told me everything about the town, police-wise. He is quite a police officer, and I am very glad you're going to be a sergeant.
Thank you.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah, he's really done, congratulations, you've done a great job. And you have the respect of not only the people in your department, but the people around town. Spend a lot of time in retirement in the different coffee shops, and, there's nothing but positive things said about you. You go to the coffee shops all the time. You do a great job. And
Thank you.
my wife was a director of the Housing Authority for many years, and she always enjoyed it when you came down there and responded to a call, whether it was a medical call or an issue of some sort. It's a real credit to the department, the uniform, your fellow officers, and as a retired police officer myself, I wish you a heartfelt congratulations, and I think you're going to go a long way.
Thank you.
If we're here long enough, I think we'll see you moving up and doing great things, so congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think Sue Hazen is here to do an honor.
I am. They asked me to be here to swear you in. It seems though we've been here before. Could I ask you to raise your right hand and read those 3 paragraphs aloud?
I, Matthew Ziv, do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to and will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and that I will fairly and equitably execute and enforce the laws thereof, within the extent of my authority and jurisdiction, so help me God. I, Matthew Ziv, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent on me as a police officer of the Raleigh Police Department, and I will obey and be bound by such rules and regulations as now or may be from time to time established for the government of the Raleigh Police Department, so help me God. I, Matthew Ziv, hereby accept the position of police officer in the Police Department of the town of Raleigh, Massachusetts.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I ask you to sign there? Yep. And sign this one, which is exactly the same as it.
Okay. Now the stripes are official.
We didn't change anything.
I'll take your pen. That
I know,
that
honey,
would be a
out of
good
it.
start.
Yep. Thank you. Congratulations
Thank
again.
you so
My
much.
chairman, if you don't mind, we're going to have his wife Dina pin his badge. We're going to take that one off, and I'm going to pretend to give him a sergeant badge.
Is it not allowed? Can you take it off? Can you take it off?
Now's your chance.
Just kidding. I could get him there. There's 2.
Last time she was doing that.
You're good. Good job, babe.
Speech?
I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity you've given me. I'll do you good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Can we get all the officers maybe over the side?
I am not an officer.
Good to see you.
Take care. Kevin.
Guys with us, thank you for coming. Oh, sure, Ken, I'm sorry. No, do you want to work out?
All right, everybody this way, look at me.
How quickly they forget, huh?
I was gonna leave a marine out? Oh, my goodness. All right, everybody look this way, no blinking. Can't see you. There we go. There we go. Smile. One more. No blinking. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Behind you, snapping.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Chief, 75.
See you.
Good to see you guys again.
See you.
It's recognize you in that uniform.
All right, I haven't seen you in a long
I know, I just see you. Hey, what?
I did?
I was gonna say, from my time, it's looking good. I see you going by my house all the time. Oh. Hey, Joe. Hey,
How you doing? Wonderful.
Hey, Sergeant.
Be safe.
Oh, yeah. How you been, all right?
Good, good. Good to see you.
Long time no see.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Almost done, almost done.
Yeah. You as well, thank you.
Number 2.
Debbie, do you want me to pull this?
Just over but not closed, please.
How are you?
Just trying to keep the noise.
Still playing softball? Not as much, unfortunately.
To continue on with our meeting, we're going down to old business number 2. We have an update on the MBTA bus service during the commuter rail shutdown in the Wi-Fi proposal. Bob Snow has been monitoring the situation with the MBTA's train service and will update the board.
Before we go any further, Representative Hill and I were speaking this weekend, and we were speaking about the monopoles. So, Brad, could you give us an update?
Let me give you an update real quick on the bus service first. As you know, this past weekend was the first weekend without any rail service from the Beverly Station down to Newburyport, and I'm happy to report that I went to most of the stations in my district, and the buses went very smoothly, actually. They had, Keolis actually had a person at each station directing people where to go and answering any questions that any riders may have had. And I was happy to hear from people who took the buses and used them that it was although not as quick as a train, with what we have to deal with, it was actually a pretty good experience. So, one step down, of course, as we know, in a couple of weeks, that will be during the weekdays as well. And that will probably be a little bit more hairier, but as you probably are aware, at one point, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the MBTA was only going to put buses in Ipswich and at the Beverly Station for the Newburyport, Newburyport, Ipswich, and then to Beverly and then to Salem. So I'm happy to report that due to all of our advocacy, and that means everybody from riders to politicians to anybody else who had a word about this, they listened to us and they're putting buses at every station, and they are going from station to station if need be. And that was a concern over the weekend. We have some workers who actually work in Raleigh and in Ipswich, who work in North Beverly, and again, the buses got them there. They got to their work on time, and they got home a little later than usual, but got home. So thank you for your advocacy on that, and because I don't know how we were going to be able to fit everybody into Ipswich, quite frankly, and as you know, it's not an MBTA lot, so we don't know where we're going to have people park. But they listened to our concerns, and I'm happy. The weekend went fine, and I'm hoping for the best once the weekday service goes down as well. The second issue with the MBTA is the Wi-Fi proposal. So I first heard about this about 30 days ago. The Manchester by the Sea had contacted my office because they had heard through their planning board that they wanted to put the Wi-Fi poles right in the middle of the historical district. And they're about 70 feet high. And the vista, if you will, was going to be tainted with these new poles. What was frustrating to us and to you, and should be, was the lack of communication from the MBTA. Once again, just like it was with the bus service and the train stoppage, they didn't let our communities know in advance that this was going to be happening within the next 30 to 45 days. Now, interestingly enough, this contract was signed 4 years ago. So it's not an issue that just popped up. It's been in the tank for about 4 years. And then when we finally, again, it was brought to our attention and we started seeing where these poles were actually going to be located, the town administrator, Greg Fetishbeil, and I actually went to the MBTA control board because they were about ready to move to the next step to start implementing these poles. And a couple of the issues that we had was, one, the lack of communication. Manchester was never told by the MBTA about these poles except through a planning board letter. Board of Selectmen never knew about it. Town administrator never knew about it. So that was one issue that we had with the control board. I'm being told by someone who used to work at Microsoft that the technology for this Wi-Fi system is already antiquated. That moving forward, they should be implementing some other type of technology for this Wi-Fi. So Greg Fetishbeil said this, and I'm copying him, so I'm going to give him full credit. But during his testimony, he said, how can I be up in an airplane 30,000 feet and get Wi-Fi and not have these poles every mile? But down here, we have to have poles every few feet, which was a good question to have. And we're being told the technology should be better, and you wouldn't need these type of poles moving forward. And then we started looking at the contract that was signed by the MBTA, and they're only getting 7.5% of the revenues that are going to be generated from this, because again, they're going through a company who's going to put all the poles in and, you know, deal with all the infrastructure upgrades and things of that sort. But 7.5% when we're trying to raise money for the MBTA seems very, very low to me and to many others that I talked to. So we brought these three issues up to the control board. And also, another town that's very upset about this is the town of Andover. They too are having many poles put into their historical district. And they actually had 60 people show up at the MBTA control board to state why this should not be happening. And they actually have a website that people can sign a petition, you know, to send back to the control board. So this isn't just a you know, a Raleigh, Ipswich, Manchester issue. This is throughout the whole entire Wi-Fi system of the MBTA. And I'm happy to report that they actually put a moratorium on the construction of these poles for 30 days. I can tell you that some of the surprise looks that we got at the MBTA control board meeting was astonishing. Some of them had no clue, in my opinion, that this was even moving forward, and more importantly, where they were being placed. And to this minute, Manchester still has not received a plan of where they will definitely be put in. And we've requested it. We asked them to come to a selectmen's meeting, and we're going to allow them to come in August after the project had started. So,
Are there any plan for Raleigh doing it?
oh yeah, it's going to be
Two
throughout.
poles in Raleigh.
It's going to be throughout the whole system.
Do you know where they're going to be located?
Yes.
It's in the packets.
Yes.
Okay.
It's Oyster Point
Oyster Point,
and
down by the
Red
train
Gate.
station.
Red Gate and Oyster Point.
Oyster Point.
Yeah, it's on their road.
Give you an idea how high 70 feet is. Take the telephone pole in front of your house, okay, which is probably about 35 feet, and double that, and that's how high 70 feet is. It's
Wow.
enormous poles. And, you know, Brad and I were talking about the technology, and I found out it was 4 years they signed the contract. That was probably that technology 2 years before that, so probably it's six years old, the technology. And in the communications business, which I was in, every 18 months, everything changed.
Changed.
So,
Oh, yeah.
you know, they're putting in a technology that's rather antiquated,
Yeah.
I would say.
That's what I'm being told. I'm not in that field.
Right.
And certainly don't know as much as some would. But I'm being told that from numerous people who are in that field, that this technology they want to use is so antiquated already. So,
Are they the slim poles, do you know, or just or poles with antenna on top? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's looks like a cell
tower.
A cell tower, in a way. And there's
Yeah.
3 arrays, or 2 arrays of the, on the poles, okay? A lower one and an upper one. And again, it's 70 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, they look pretty ugly.
well, they can be very ugly, especially if they're sited in the wrong place. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that they're not updating the technology at this point. This is crazy to put in technology that's 5, 6 years old. And they'll probably come back in 3 or 4 years and have to upgrade it or update it.
Well, thankfully, the MBTA Control Board has now taken a step back, which we asked them to do. And they're going to look at all these questions that we've had for them and hopefully come back, as they did with the bus issue, with some changes. I would recommend that the board actually send a letter to the chair of the MBTA Control Board and just voice some of these concerns that I brought to your attention.
So there's no town input, they're just gonna do this.
And that was the frustration that we have.
You
is-
said that the planning board just heard about it, or were they involved in some way?
My understanding is they were just sent, and I'm going from Manchester's point of view, they were just sent a letter and kind of rode under the radar screen. And again, not many plans have been forwarded to them, so everything's kind of hearsay.
And this is on the right-of-way of the railroad system.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So we don't have any regulation.
I mean, a lot of times, if you like locate the poles in among trees, it doesn't have much of an impact. But if you don't think about those kinds of issues, then they can.
They're telling us they have to be certain
Certain
feet, apart and things
Yeah.
of that sort. We're also being told, and I haven't verified this, but we're digging into this, is that the FRA and I believe federal law may prevent these from going into historical districts. We're looking to see if that's the case. And if they are to do anything in historical districts, they actually do have to get some input from the town. We're looking to see if that's true. We've been told that by numerous people, but we haven't seen it, on paper yet. But you should weigh in.
If it was a private company, they have to file an application with the planning board. The planning board holds a public hearing, there's public input.
That's right.
Frequently, the board gets them to change their plans in some way, that improves, makes it a better installation. It's a shame that they're just gonna do this on their own.
Mr. Chairman, these proposed locations are in the coastal scenic byway of the town, which is very beautiful, as you go out on the marsh, on Oyster Point, and that whole area at the end of Railroad Avenue. And that's where the proposed monopole is, and I just found out this afternoon, and Redgate Road as well. Mr. Chairman, Selectman Arthur Steiner has asked, from Manchester
Right.
by the Sea, has asked the Rowley Board
letter.
of Selectmen to send a letter to the governor as well, along with a list of other officials, in speaking on the same
Right.
request.
It was my understanding too, though, that because they are using their own right-of-way, that there isn't, the town doesn't have the restriction from the planning board that we might have in a normal application for a tower structure.
But if anyone else wanted to put a pole up,
Right.
whether it was on their property or not, they'd have to go to the planning board. It just
Right.
seems, it's a bad process, or it's no process.
No process whatsoever,
I
no
think
communication.
I think the most shocking thing is that the financial problems that the T has had, and only to be getting 7.5%.
Yes.
I mean,
Again, it was signed 4 years ago.
and signed 4 years ago,
we have
and
a
nobody knew about it.
New administration in place. and-
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I imagine there's an increase in price, they're not using the 4.5-year-old price, right? There's probably add-ons
Yeah.
for whatever the inflation,
Arguably.
there's gotta be something, and nobody's gonna sign a contract, go through a contract that's 4 years old.
I think the message was very loud and clear at the control board meeting that the lack of communication between the MBTA and the communities in the Commonwealth, not only just, the bus issue that we now have this issue. What other issues are we going to have that we're not going to get any information on? It's not right. So we sent a very strong message in letters to the governor stating that as you're making changes at the MBTA, this needs to be one of them. You got to communicate with your partners in the communities, and they've done a horrible job, and they need to do a better job.
Who would buy a car 4.5 years old?
Yeah.
Buy a television or a computer.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, my understanding is the company that originally signed the contract isn't even the company anymore. They got bought out by somebody else.
Wow.
So we're dealing with that as well. So,
Okay.
again, over my pay grade, but we've asked for them to look into this, and my hope will be that
Thank you
they'll
very
come
much
back
for all
with
all
a
that you
better
do.
process. But,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you
Thank you for
CC
coming.
me on the letters that you sent? Because we got a
Yes.
folder.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll CC Bruce too,
Yeah.
with you and Bruce.
He's been working, and I should have said that right at the beginning. He's been working very hard on this as well. He had people at the MBTA control board as well.
Give you a
You have a motion?
I'll give you that motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to send the letter to the MBTA board. All those in favor say aye.
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 And a motion for, to send, to respond to Manchester Selectmen.
We'll just CC
They're
them.
asking for you to support and send a letter to the governor
Oh,
as
okay.
well, so that we want to include a letter to the
We'll
governor.
just CC them, I
Yeah,
think
CC them.
would be
Yeah.
sufficient.
Can they have a template they can send?
They sent us that.
Thank you, Brett.
Okay.
Thank you
very
very
much,
much.
Fred.
Good
to see you. Well,
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thanks, we'll see you soon. Yes.
Okay, we have a 7:30 appointment with Peter Termini to discuss Didak's building. Peter?
Yes. My name is Peter Termini. I've been retained by Didek Corporation and the Di Lorenzo family that own the abutting property to essentially sell the property. Didek has been there for, 20 years or so. They're bursting at the seams. They are going to move. They have to move for size reason and a number of other business reasons. The combined parcel is roughly 40 acres. So I've been retained to find the highest and best use and to put it together and market the property. We have 3 avenues by right. We could do a conventional subdivision, or we could do a 40B, or we could ask for an OSRD and have a cluster in the back. We would have to ask for that via special permit. But in any of the events, no matter what we do, because of the ZBA decision on the property 1993, the building has to come down. The ZBA decision was such that the building is in the center on a 3 or 4 acre parcel, and it has to be surrounded by the other properties, which is a residential. It has to be in the same ownership, and for a lot of reasons, mostly legal, it can't be developed while the building is there. So if we go, let's say, for an OSRD, what we're looking at is potentially a townhouse development in the back of the property because it has a right-of-way, a walkway to the train station. We think that would be a high marketing value for it. But again, the building has to come down. It can't be sold. So we came up with the idea, since it's of no use to Didek and it has to come down, it might be advantageous for everybody, instead of bulldozing the building, donate it to the town. They would get a tax credit of some kind, and the town would get a 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art building. That's what I proposed. I said, and depending on if the town would like the building or not, I'll bring in the developers and market it as either the building is coming down or we're donating the building to the town. It's a state-of-the-art building. It's about 20,000 square feet. I'd say, this is a guess, probably 5,000 or 6,000 is office and conference rooms. The rest is an open, they use it for warehousing, but it's been designed so it doesn't have beams, it's just open, and it has loading docks. It's quite an impressive building. Kirk, I gave Kirk a tour of it, and he took some pictures, if you care. I assume you have the pictures.
It's right there on the laptop.
So I talked to the planning department. They seemed fertile to the idea, and then my next step was to speak to you gentlemen. So if you feel the town would benefit by, to having the building, we'll work towards that end. And I'm just hoping to get some kind of feedback or input from you people. The only thing I have working, that I have to work under is I've got a time constraint. DIDEC would like to be out in about 18 months. So, and I think I had agreed that I could probably get it through the planning department on a normal subdivision in about a year and a half. So they're targeting that as the time frame where they want to be out. Again, we looked at it and it seems a shame to demolish it. I don't know if the town has a use for it. I suspect you probably might. But looking for some feedback.
We can't get the pictures up on.
He wants to take that laptop.
I'll be happy to give any
There
or
are
all of
pictures
the members
Is
a
there-
tour of the building
Here's a printout just in case.
anytime you guys want it.
You know about it, Bob?
We have
We had the picture up there in the beginning.
I'm not advocating you take an old shack in the middle of the woods. This is a state-of-the-art steel and steel beam construction. I didn't even know Kurt had taken these pictures until he showed them at the planning meeting.
Password.
Hold on 1 second.
Anybody know? I don't know what the password is.
There's the pen.
Oh, here we go.
Which one's like it? Just like that. Okay, I'll wait till you get back downstairs.
Thanks, Jake.
Or wait, I got. All right.
So inside the office is petitioned off with movable petitions, is that what I
Yeah,
get?
well, there are some fixed offices to the left and a conference room, and the rest are partitions. There are fixed offices on both sides. There's the cafeteria section in the back. There are bathrooms on the top floor, ADA approved. The whole thing is climate controlled, air conditioning and heating. It's a fairly,
Is there an elevator for the
no, it's a single story.
single story?
You go downstairs and there's a walkout where the warehousing is, and that's all one big open space. They don't have any beams or anything. So I don't know if you'd use it as a community center or what you would do with it, but even the warehousing is climate controlled. It's a pity we can't get the other pictures. Oh, here you go. There you go.
I think it's gonna be hard to, we have to really take a look at it without, you know, without.
I can call Brian and arrange for a tour anytime you guys want to.
I think, the problem we have is, you know, number one, is it's probably gonna take quite a bit of money on our part to make office space out of it. In other words, we gotta move.
No, there's office space that's already there.
No, but I mean, we gotta move to apartments.
Oh,
Out
yeah,
of
you mean you have to
whatever
move from
buildings.
where you are there?
Yeah, and I mean, there's nobody just waiting to go down there, number one.
I think Kirk would go.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, they're short of space, but it's.
I've been in his office, I think he'd go.
Well, seems to me we may not have an immediate need for it, but the town is growing, and I think it's going to continue to grow. And therefore, if the building is in good shape, as you say it is, why wouldn't we want to grab it? And then even if you have to put it in mothballs for a few years.
Well, you could rent it. I mean, that would rent for an easy $8 or $9 a
Yeah.
square foot at 20,000 square feet.
But I could see that at some point, you know, community center would be great.
Yeah, you're talking about 170, 180,000 a year, and that would be, you could get triple net on it if you wanted to rent it.
But it would
My
seem-
company also rents space.
What, does the ZBA?
The ZBA decision,
If we take it, do we overrule anything?
No, the
No.
ZBA would have to agree to eliminate the restriction.
the ZBA would have to, the ZBA made a ruling, you know, and the power to create is the power to destroy. So they would have to be the body that says, okay, we're going to rescind that rule on the condition that you donate it to the,
Yeah.
something like that. I've taken it to a few lawyers, and there's no way that Didek and the Di Lorenzos can do both. And the land is worth more money as a townhouse development in back. I think I showed you
Yeah.
a rough. It would be.
You came to the planning board and you showed us
Yeah,
an
it'd be
informal sketch.
this is a sketch, it's a cartoon. It'd be about 33, 35 townhouses, really in the back, way well behind the building, because it has a right-of-way that walks right to the train station. So that's the most valuable. If the town did not want us, denied us the OSRD, which is their right, then it would be a standard subdivision. But either case, it's worth more as a residential property than as the building as a industrial use. So, the idea was, if the town can use it, great. DIDEC gets a tax credit, and the town gets a building. If they don't want it, then I have to market it in such a way that it'll be part of the project to demolish the building, which is kind of a waste.
What does Didek manufacture?
They don't manufacture anything. They distribute school supplies, books, all kinds of school supplies.
It's been a great company down there. I mean, they've done a
Yeah.
great job. They're almost, I know someone lives across the street there, they're almost invisible in terms of
Yeah,
trucks come in certain times of the day and they come out. And
but it's too small for them.
Yeah.
They have to leave. It's not like, well, gee, we can stay another year. They're gone. And I combine that with the abutting property owned by the Di Lorenzos, because I needed so many properties, because, well, for OSRD requirements, I needed a larger piece, so we combined the properties. So I now in a position to either apply for an OSRD, or go for a 40B, or we're not even thinking about 40B, or do a standard subdivision. In either case, the building can't be in anybody else's hands except the town, or it's destroyed. That's it. It seemed kind of pretty, as a benefit to both parties. The town would get, even at $100 a foot, it's 20,000 feet, it's a $2 million building. It would seem wasteful to just destroy it, and although DIDEC has no choice.
How many square feet for the office space again?
I haven't measured it, I'm gonna guess at 5,000 or 6,000.
For just office space?
Yeah.
And then the-
Downstairs could be fairly easily converted. The downstairs is climate controlled. But if you look at it, I took a friend of mine there who works more with municipal governments, and he rattled off a list of things. He said, this could be an indoor rec center. It could be a regional rec center. You could set up, you went through a whole thing, senior housing, daycare, you went through a whole list. assuming you don't do anything, or the town, excuse me, that doesn't do anything that takes away from the development, don't put, a dump there, don't have the garbage trucks going back and forth. Outside of that, virtually anything the town does will be a positive for the subdivision. If you put town offices there, you put a senior center there, you put daycare there, whatever you put there would benefit the subdivision that we're planning in the back.
Do we want to have a field trip between now and our next meeting is on the 24th? And we could revisit?
I'd be
How many
happy to.
parking spaces?
Oh, I don't know, there'd have to be at least 50 or 60.
I was there today, there's probably 25, 30 parking
You
spaces.
counting the back?
Not counting the back,
Okay,
there's
yeah.
another 15 out back.
Yeah.
How do the other board members feel?
I think we should look into it, and I think the first step is to go look at it ourselves. I was wondering if after that, if we still want to move ahead, or at some point, maybe we can hire someone to inspect the building, someone who knows about these things, and give us a report on what shape the building's in.
Well, between now and the 24th, we could go
Sure,
down
right.
and visit the building, the five of us, and to see whether on the 24th we want to go forward.
Right? You're talking about the 24th of this month?
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Anybody else have a comment, or is that
Yeah,
reasonable, or?
I think we definitely need to take a look at it. But I think we need to have a real in-depth discussion.
Do we all want to?
About what we do with it, how we do it, where we're gonna get the money to do whatever we're gonna do with it. Even to mothball it is gonna take a town meeting vote to give us money from somewhere.
Right.
I mean, this is a huge deal with not a lot of time, so I mean, it's a situation.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to
No, it's
pressure
not your
your time.
fault.
It's just that they have to move, and I've got a time frame.
Yep.
So the fact that you said 24th is great to me, because,
Well, that only means
That's wonderful.
we'll take a look at it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely.
And come
need to
back and
take a look
discuss
at
it.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it benefits me. If you say, we don't want to, then I go in a different direction.
Right.
That's all I'm looking for at this point, is to get, if you say, gee, we would like to explore it, then we'll go down that avenue, but it's entirely up to you, gentlemen.
You want to go as a group or
Say as a
individually?
group.
or-
As a
I
group.
think
That's
that's
a
a good
group?
idea.
So we'll set a date and
I can
Get
set it up
together.
anytime you want.
Now, it's just a question, if the building is torn down, does that entire lot become housing development?
It'll become part of it. I don't think that there'll be any houses built there. It'll be part
Your
of,
access drive, right?
yeah, it'll just be a road. It would determine how the subdivision is laid out. Instead of going around the building to going back, it would go through where the building was. It's not gonna affect the amount of units. I haven't, we've done a guesstimate on a yield plan. It's not accurate, but we went through the mathematical formula in your zoning, and as far as area, it looks like we'll probably get in the low 30s, 33, 30, something like that, 33, 34, that area, but it's not, it's not in stone at this point. But I've done a cursory market analysis, and it seems that the best demand is for some kind of townhouse development in the back that takes advantage of its access to rail. I mean, you can literally, there's a right-of-way that walks right to the train station, which is, a big plus. So they're not going to we're not going to design it so it goes out to the road. We're going to design it so it's in back where the big pine trees are, and it goes right to the train station.
Yeah, it's a great feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a determining feature. So that's where it's going to go. But looking at the building to take it down, it just seemed, I don't know.
So the office space is upstairs, and downstairs is,
If you walk in to one level, you walk in ground floor, there's where all the office space is, and there's offices on both sides. There's the cubicles in the middle. There's men's and ladies' room. There are conference rooms. There's a small cafeteria in the back. It's quite nice. And then you would walk downstairs, and it opens up into a huge warehouse area, which has high ceilings.
But that part is accessible from on the
Both
outside,
sides,
right?
yeah, both
So there'd be
sides.
no problem with the ADA,
Go to the
lack of an
front.
elevator, right?
No, No.
It's a back entrance.
Yeah, it's back
That
entrance.
That main portion, right.
Well,
When
the fo-
they
yeah.
when they first built the building, there was a spiral staircase that went from the first floor down to what would be the second,
Yeah.
the U-grade floor. I don't know if that's still there or not, but it was
The
there.
staircase is still there, yes.
Is it still
Yeah,
there?
it goes down from the lobby.
And there was a development planned for that, and that's why it got changed around at the same time. They got to build their factory where they were putting the printing presses and things and doing that kind of work. But there was also going to do development there with it, and that just didn't fly.
Did you say printing?
Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
before
They're not printing, that might have been in a...
Yeah, it was printing way back when.
The building was built, it was Rowley Printing.
Okay, that's before
Yeah,
my...
before.
Way back, 40 years ago.
That's why it
Oh,
was,
was it?
that's why it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
How long was
Don Kent ran that Raleigh printing.
Yes,
How long
Okay,
was
that-
the printing business there?
Well, it was,
quite a while.
there was a printing business there, and then Don Kent built the new building and moved his, just expanded business as it was, and then ultimately he went out of the business and sold out to
Didac. You
Didac.
you gentlemen have me at a disadvantage, that goes back further than I
When I
do.
built my house 47 years ago, I remember Raleigh.
Well, I laugh because when we went for the override for the school way back when, I was on that committee, and we went down to, Don Kent provided us the printing and the mailing and everything else.
Oh, okay.
So-
To get this override for the school.
Okay. Now, Didac built this building after the print?
No.
They bought it or
They
built
took
it?
over the building? They
Yeah.
acquired the
They
building?
took it after Rowley Printing went out of business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this building is how old?
I don't know.
Probably
Mr. Chairman,
30,
you have in your packet.
30, 35
the
years. I would guess.
assessment.
If you- I've gone up to,
It's a good
I've
building.
driven
It's
around
nice.
it, it's,
Well,
you wouldn't know it.
And Didac's
No, it's-
been there how?
As far as, well, I have records going back to 93.
93.
I mean, they've been a first-class outfit. It's not a fly-by-night company, or they've taken good care of the property.
Yeah.
And, like I say, they've been a real asset to the town. It was sad to see them go, because they've been a good taxpayer and a good citizen.
And they've had nice
Good
things to
citizen.
say about working with the town. I think that was part of when the discussion came out to see if the town wants it. There's no choice. I mean, it's not like they can go back to the owners, because it's owned by people from in England, or the actual owners. They can't go back and say, well, gee, we're giving away your property. The way it is what it is. You can have the housing development, or you can keep it as it is and they can't stay. So if the town doesn't want it, then the housing development will go forward and the building will come down. It's...
Okay, we'll get together, the five of us, and
Yes.
determine a date. and we'll-
Sure, if you
Give me a
could
call.
do it perhaps, what's today, either late this week or early next week, it would help me. If you could contact me, or I could contact your representative or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, if you go through, Debbie,
Yeah.
Debbie has your number.
Okay, sure. All right, I'll call Brian, he's the manager, the president. I'll set something up, I'll see what times he has available and I'll contact you. And if we can work it out for later this week, for whatever's good for you gentlemen, that would be great. If anybody else wants to
Yeah,
come.
mornings would be good.
Okay, great. If anybody else, somebody from the planning board or somebody else that you think, it might be, beneficial to bring them, by all means. Again, it would help me only that I'm trying to move it on to a resolution so I know which way to go
Right.
as far as what I have to do, and I do have, some time pressures.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Very
you.
much.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Okay, getting back to my agenda. We've covered general business number 1, and we've covered number 2. General business number 3, we have a request from Essex County Greenbelt Association to have annual road cycling event pass through the town of Raleigh. Please see the attached request from Essex County Greenbelt for their 3rd annual cycling event through Raleigh on Route 1A, September 16, 2017. The police chief, fire chief, health agent, and highway surveyor have reviewed this request, and there are no comments or concerns.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the Greenbelt ride on Sunday, Sunday? The 16th of September, 2017. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. General business number 4. We have a letter from Reverend Robert M.J. Hagopian regarding the chaplaincy of the Raleigh Fire and Police Departments. Dear Chief Dumas, please be advised that I am retiring from parish ministry at the First Congregational Church of Raleigh, United Church of Christ, and currently from chaplaincy of the Raleigh Fire and Police Departments and the Newbury Police Department, which will be effective as of Sunday, November 5th, 2017. It has been a blessing and a privilege to serve as the chaplain of the Raleigh Police Department since my appointment in 2004. I will continue my ministry in care dimensions as a hospice chaplain, which will be my one and only full-time work. Ann and I will be looking for an apartment in the Danvers area. Chief, I am willing to assist you in your search for a new chaplain, including the possibility of appointing a lay chaplain from among the ranks. Law enforcement in general and our Raleigh police officers in specific will always have a special place in my heart. It has truly been an honor and a privilege to have served you in our department for the past 13 years. Please feel free to contact me on my cell phone to discuss future possibilities for the department's spiritual care. Peace, love, and many blessings to you and all of our Raleigh police officers and their families. May God keep you all safe. Robert M. J. Hagopian, Reverend. We're going to miss Reverend Bob.
Big, certainly will. Big shoes to fill.
Yep. That
Motion to send a letter.
You want to wait or? do we-
Yeah, I think probably, it's not till November, right? So
Yeah.
we'll wait until,
Okay.
he might change his mind.
Yeah.
Okay, going on. Old business number 1. Discuss 2017 Independence Day celebration on the town common. The town received the following donations for the 2017 Independence Day celebration on the town common. Joseph Perry donated $65 in coins for the race prizes for the Independence Day celebration on the town common. Shaws of Ipswich donated hot dog rolls and condiments. Savages donated ice and the use of their freezer. Raleigh Grange donated the use of their hot dog steamer. And the Council on Aging just donated the use of their plastic tubs, which were used to hold the ice and slush. The Board of Selectmen needs to vote to accept these gifts and then send thank you letters. Joseph Perry will recuse himself from the discussion of the agenda item and abstain from voting.
I'll make a motion
Well,
to
I think
accept the gifts.
Well, yeah, I don't think we need to send letters to ourselves.
No, I was
No, I
gonna
don't think so, no.
They're already written.
Another tree cut down. I'll second the motion. Send the letters.
We do have some, I would like to go through the list, excluding myself.
Including us.
Now, well, Bob Snow was very helpful. Dave Peterson, Bob Murray, Cliff Pierce. I think it's great that all 5 of us showed up that day. It shows our solidarity in supporting the Independence Day. Tim Southall was very instrumental. Debbie Egan, Joan Peterson, Mary Ellen McGill, Miles. I'm sorry, I will get that right someday. Stephanie Desjardins and Bernie Cullen. And I want to thank everybody who helped out. They did a really great job.
Just say a
We
special
appreciate
thanks
it.
to Tim Southall, who
Yes.
has been doing this every year. He runs the games. He deal with, I don't know how many races he actually runs, but he keeps them going for a good hour and a half or 2 hours. Keeps the kids active
He's
and
pretty
on
good
the
at
go.
He's
and,
good at it, yes.
He really is. He's got the personality and they
Yes,
get
he
up
is.
and go. And he
It was
deserves a
nice.
special thanks for what he puts in.
It was nice, Chris Pavalaco from the YMCA came.
Yes,
It
yes,
was-
yes.
It was very nice. And it's always pleasure to go into our slush fund.
Okay. So that takes care of that. We've taken care of old business number 2, the MBTA. Update on the Pine Grove School project. Chairman Perry attended the MSBA board meeting on June 28th. MSBA approved the Pine Grove School project. We had the vote, and the treasurer for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts ran the meeting, and it was impressive. And the city of Boston was there, and there they have submitted 10 schools for feasibility study. I can't even think of them, 10 schools for a feasibility study, but they have 10 schools that are desperate, and they said they have many more. That should have been on the list. But it came to Raleigh, and we got a chance to speak. Brian Forget was there and gave the position from the Triton Regional District, and I said thank you, and they voted in favor of our project. And we should be hearing very shortly about the project funding agreement. So we are really moving along. By the way, there is a committee meeting on Thursday night.
No, afternoon, right?
Thursday afternoon.
1
You're
o'clock.
right. Thank you.
1
1 o'clock. Okay, so that takes care of that. We have old business number 4, discuss agreement for design services with CBI Consulting, Inc. for the Phase 1 work on the Town Hall Annex elevator project. Town Council Tom Mullen has written the attached agreement for design services for the elevator project. The Phase 1 work consists of design development and construction documents. Debbie, Tom, and CBI have worked out an agreement that is amenable to both parties. If the board is in agreement, the board will need to vote to sign it. Any questions about the agreement?
Yeah, Debbie's been working diligently on this. Time is getting short. We want to go for the money in the fall. Town meeting, we need to move forward. The only issue I would say at this point, and if we are seriously going to look at the Didax project, before we spend $1 million on an elevator, we need to, make a decision, because we're gonna move town offices down to Didax, for instance. We may never do that, but just keep in mind, we need to move forward on this to keep the project going. But it's one of those things that is part of the Didax issue. If we want to use it for town offices, then what are we going to do with the center school? And so on and so forth. So just keep that in the back of your mind as we move forward, look at that building. So a lot of issues here to be involved in, but we definitely need to move forward and sign this so the architect can put together the plans for the elevator, assuming that if we stay in that building.
Based on a family history that I won't get into, we've had family members try to spend the same dollar in 3 or 4 different areas, and it doesn't work that way. So we have a limited amount of cash that we have, and that we should, we've voted so far to go ahead with the elevator project, and I think I'm still in favor of it, and I would think that we'd have to consider what we're going to do with Didax, but I think that's put on for another
Just something to keep in the back of our mind.
Right.
Because we're
So
going
I
to have to
need
make a
a-
decision on that fairly soon anyway on Didax, so
I need a motion.
I'll give you the motion.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to sign the agreement with design services with CBI. All those in favor say aye.
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 It's, I'm not sure which page it is because they're not numbered, but it's very close to the back. Three, four, it's fifth page from the back. Next to the last paragraph. It's based on the written RFP, excuse me, CVI Consulting Inc. They provide design services for a fixed fee, and they put a fee in here. And the words are $132,500, and in parentheses in figures, it's $133,000 period. Is that going both ways, or is it just a guess?
I see 133,000 on
Page 2.
It's
the
actually-
first page where the letter starts addressed to you.
Yeah, it's on page 2 of the agreement. Yeah, that's the proposal, which we're attaching along with the RFQ, the original RFQ, those are the attachments to the contract.
Okay, it's just, it's written one way and then it's in
Yeah,
figures
because
the
it's
other way.
showing, the 125,000 for the design, development, and the construction documents. And then the 7,500 is the bidding.
But it's 125.5 and 7,500, so that does add up to 133.
That was just the breakup.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman. For A and B. And that was their proposal that Attorney Mullen took and wrote into our contract template.
Okay,
Are you all set?
sounds good to me.
Okay. Do I have the sign?
Wind up with it?
Is that right next to you? Need a pen?
Yeah, the time. Thank you.
Okay. We're down to new business number 1. Discuss sending a letter to Triton School Committee requesting to be on their August meeting agenda to discuss the fiscal year 19 budget. While we are just starting the second week of the new fiscal year, it is not too soon to start planning for the fiscal year 19 budget. Does the board wish to start the budget process by requesting a meeting and to be placed on the Triton Regional School District agenda, school committee agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I think we have no choice in this matter. I don't have the figures with me, but I think in the last 3 years, Raleigh's assessment on the operating budget has increased by close to $1.5 million. And it's taken every bit of our free cash, not free cash, every bit of our new growth, and most of our 2.5 increase that were allotted, leaving little or no money to the downside of the budget. And the difference in the money has been made up by drawing on free cash for the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're in a position where if we don't get some help in the next couple of years, this town's going to have some major budget issues,
Financial issues,
problems.
definitely.
We can't keep spending money and taking the money out of free cash. It just doesn't work. Any one of us that deals with budgeting and money knows that you can't keep taking out of your savings account to buy groceries.
Nope.
And sooner or later that money runs out, and that's the only thing keeping us going. And I understand the formula issue and all that. There's some things that are beyond our control, but I think we have to let the school know that we're hurting. And, we've passed $50 million in overrides in the last 2 years for police, fire, and the school. Passed another override for the Triton Stadium. I mean, we're tapped out.
We're tapped.
And,
Absolutely.
It may not do much good, but I think we should send a letter, and I think we should send letters to the other 2 communities and tell them what we're doing and ask them to get involved and attend that meeting and make a presentation on their budget issues. And we need to do it before Triton gets working on the budget, because once they start, like I say, it may not do any good, may fall on deaf ears, but at least we need to make the point that, we're tapped out.
I think the point this year is that we want to be on the school committee agenda, not just on the district communications meeting. I know Larry White is a frequent attender to the district communications meeting and has been very vocal. And we had one year where they took our whole 2.5 increase plus our new value and 100,000 on top of that.
Yeah.
And we just can't afford that. We just
No,
can't
we're just-
afford that
we're being
anymore.
tapped out.
So, but we want to write a letter that we want to be placed on the agenda.
No, we don't want to just show up. We want to be
No.
on the agenda and invite the other 2 towns to be on the agenda
Right.
and have a serious discussion about what's taking place. I mean,
Yep.
we're sorry, we're not against the schools and we're not against
No.
funding what they need, but there's going to be an understanding in this. And I think these 3 school committee members from Raleigh need to understand where we sit, and we're not trying to be obstructive or be detrimental. But, we're going to sit here next year and figure out the budget, and every year we keep tapping all of our free cash money, and it's leaving us no money to do anything else.
Right.
For instance, I take Didax again. you know, if we wanted, if we decide we want to take that building, we have to come up with some money
Yes.
to do something with it,
Needs
whether
the
we just
dollars.
mothball it or whatever, or market it, or whatever, and I don't know where we're gonna get the money.
Right.
You know, we don't have it, or we can steal what little, I guess, in free cash, I don't know, but I mean, these are the issues we're facing as a board.
Yep.
And I know last year, I was at the Finance Committee meeting, I believe, and Larry can correct me, that they approved the Triton budget by only a 5-4 vote. And that's the first time, I think, in the time I've been in Rowley, that it hasn't been a unanimous
On the
unanimous
Finance
vote
Committee,
to
right?
support the budget. And I think we have to let the school board know that this board, as well as the Finance Committee, may very well vote to do not recommend the budgets if we can't afford it. Now, ultimately, we're gonna have to pay it anyway, we understand that, but our only power is to make a statement. And I think we need to make it early and make it often. And if we have to go to a number of school committee meetings to make that statement, I think it needs to be made.
Yep.
It's just,
I agree.
you know, we can't keep doing it. I couldn't do it in my house budget, and we can't do it in the town's budget.
Yep.
And the state is giving everybody a little bonus from what Brad talked about in the state budget, a little bit of a token increase in the Chapter 70 and token increase in ARP funds, but it's not, it's all it is, a token.
A
It's not
token.
gonna, whether we get it or not, it's not gonna make a huge amount of difference. So there's gotta be
No.
a different way to fund it, but in the meantime, we may have to create a crisis in order to be heard. And maybe this is the time to start, so that's my opinion.
Motion?
Well, plus the taxpayer is spent.
Yes.
I mean, that's where the revenue comes from, and I think it'd be an outcry from the townspeople.
Well, when these overrides kick in, believe me, there'll be an
Yeah.
outcry. Because it's gonna be a lot of money on everybody's individual tax
Tax
bills.
bill.
And like I say, we're hurting other services in town. I mean, we're looking at needs for the, you know, maybe another couple of full-time firemen.
Mhm.
There's issues, the highway department's running on a stroke of goodwill, I guess. But I mean, there's a lot of issues that we haven't been able to fund because all the money has been going to the schools, and you know, we have to start screaming.
Yep.
If we don't, shame on us as far as, and I'm not against the school, I've always been a strong supporter of the schools and the school budgets, and, you know, Brian Forge is trying to do a good job up there, but, you know, they've just gotta recognize that it's not a pool of money that's unlimited.
Yep.
Motion?
Motion?
Give motions.
Just real quick.
Larry?
I just want to make sure, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, that we should meet with them and make sure that it's a meeting that is not canceled, postponed, delayed, whatever type of a thing that they've done in the past. And that if that happens, then I suggest that we call a meeting to have them come in and listen to us. But a meeting between the Triton School and at least Rowley has to take place and not delayed or dismissed.
Very good point.
By the way, the
Very good
vote
point.
was 4-3, but.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right,
You're
Larry. Yeah.
correct that it was not unanimous, and it was, we'll say, a reluctant majority that ruled.
Yeah, I think if they don't have an I'm not sure if they actually have a formal August meeting or not, they may not, but if they don't, then we need to be on the first, on the agenda. And we need to be at their meeting, I think, because
Yes.
that's the one that goes to
I'll check-
televised to all.
I'll check the agenda
If they come to
listed
our
on
meeting,
the,
it only goes to
on the
Rowley.
site.
If we go to the school committee meeting, it goes to all three communities. So I think it's important that we're represented in front of all three communities at their meeting.
I think we also need to have a tri-town meeting, like we did in the past. You know, the other boards, the selectmen, all meet together.
Yeah, we've done it in the past, but I realize there's some issues involved, and I know Newbury's, their assessment goes down every year, so they're not too, it's gonna be interesting, Joe's working on the change of the formula, so that's
Right,
That's an interesting problem, because all three towns have to approve that to make that change.
all three.
But I mean, at this point, I mean, if we write a letter to Triton and we invite the other two towns to get involved, and it be worded in such a way that we would like to meet, you know, and leave it to Joe, you the chair, do what you can, but it's just important that we, now, like I say, I'm not trying to be negative, it's just a matter of reality
We
is
have
what
to.
reality is, and it's just, we need to put our foot down. May get it nowhere, but hey, it's all we can, the only power we have at this point is to
We have
be
to
heard,
try.
to be heard.
We have to try.
Do you have a second? If not, I'll second it.
Bob Snow made the motion.
I made the motion. Cliff seconded.
Cliff second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll check on the, whether the school committee is meeting in August and let you know. Okay, new business number 2, sign the contract with PRS Group for computer consulting services. The contract extension agreement is ready to be signed for PRS Group, the town's IT consultants. The board needs to vote to authorize Chairman Joe Perry to sign the 2 originals.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to sign the agreement with PRS Group. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, we have an open meeting law complaint filed by Tim Toomey. Discuss the open meeting law complaint filed by Timothy Toomey. Timothy Toomey filed an open meeting law complaint against the Board of Selectmen on June 29th, 2017. Debbie has prepared a response which has been reviewed by the town's attorney. Chairman Perry will read the response into the record. If the board is satisfied, they will need to vote to approve the response and sign it. Timothy Toomey, 355 Central Street, Raleigh, Mass. 01969. Regarding the open meeting law complaint received June 29, 2017. Response. Dear Mr. Toomey, the Board of Selectmen received an open meeting law complaint on June 29, 2017 from you. You have named Raleigh Board of Selectmen as the public body subject to your complaint and identified Joseph Perry, Chairman, Board of Selectmen, as the specific person who you allege committed the violation. In the description of alleged violation box on the open meeting law complaint form, you state the following: the Raleigh Board of Selectmen and the Raleigh Board of Water Commissioners conducted a joint meeting on June 28, 2017. I was recognized by the chairman of the board before they went into executive session. The board chair, Perry, allowed me to address the board in open session. I proceeded to inform him and other members that the executive session minutes for 9/11/2015 were not published according to the open meeting law promulgated by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I have previously supplied unredacted minutes to the Water Commissioner. Since they were holding a joint meeting, requested that they receive a copy. I was cut short, was not able to finish my statement. The cut short is a violation of the open meeting law. My freedom of speech rights were intentionally violated, and I was bullied. The statement was relevant to the meeting as it was background information relating to the water department problems and policies which were about to be discussed. It was first submitted unredacted on August 4th, 2016 to the Water Board Commissioners at their meeting. It was signed and approved by previous Water Board Commissioner. It was unknown to me as to why the town possesses a copy that is not properly approved and signed by the Raleigh Water Commissioners or redacted by an unknown entity. A copy is attached for your review. You request the following action in response to your complaint. Publish the executive session minutes for 9/11/15 that were signed and approved form by the former water board, and explain why no executive session has ever been held to review the redacted portions of the 9/11/15 minutes and who authorized their redaction. In response to your complaint, the Board of Selectmen did not commit a violation of the open meeting law when Chairman Joseph Perry asked you to stop speaking. You were not scheduled on the agenda. Please see attached copy of the June 28th, 2017 meeting agenda. While you have the right to attend a public meeting, you do not have the right to address the public body without permission from the chairman. When you asked to make a statement at the start of the June 28th, 2017 joint meeting, Chairman Perry gave you permission to speak. You started to speak about the Water Board's September 11th, 2015 meeting minutes. The topic of the Water Board's September 11th, 2015 meeting minutes was not on the meeting agenda, and Chairman Perry requested you to stop speaking. He said that it would be a matter to address with the Board of Water Commissioners. Please note that the Attorney General's open meeting law guide states as follows. Under the open meeting law, the public is permitted to attend meetings of public bodies, but is excluded from an executive session that is called for a valid purpose listed in the law. While the public is permitted to attend an open meeting, an individual may not address the public body without permission of the chair. An individual may not disrupt a meeting of the public body, and at the request of the chair, all members of the public shall be silent. In response to your concerns regarding the Board of Water Commissioners' September 11th, 2015 executive session minutes enclosed, please find a copy of the redacted minutes and a copy of the Attorney General's decision, Open Meeting Law 2016-21, concerning those minutes. In summary, the Board of Selectmen denies your claim that the board or Chairman Perry violated the state open meeting law, general laws, chapter 30A, subsections 18 to 25, for the reasons stated above. Sincerely, Joseph Perry, Chairman, Robert Snow, Vice Chairman, Clifford Pierce, Clerk, G. Robert Murray, and please.
I move we approve the response.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the response. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. New business number 4. Discuss donation from Stephen Hobson of a 1938 wallet
Mr. Chairman, I
belonging
believe
to John
that should be a
Hobson.
1738.
Well, is it? That's,
That should be 1738, according to the letter that we got from Mr. Hodgson, not 1930.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll change that.
Blame it on my poor eyesight.
No blame assigned.
you had wallets back then?
Bob Berry has examined the wallet and has done a historical look back on its ownership. He will update the board on this agenda item. And it's a Stephen a wallet from Stephen Hobson, a 1738 wallet belonging to John Hobson. Bob?
Yes, sir. You do have the wallet. That much I can tell you.
1738.
This is it here. There are a couple of documents inside of it, which I'd rather not pass around because they are delicate. It does say on the wallet itself, John Hobson, and we thought it was 17, it looks like 1738. And it does have the word Rowley, O-E, Rowley, on it also, so if you want to pass it around, so people can look at it. Mr. Hobson was, and actually the Hobson family was members of Rowley. They're listed in the books that have all of the various Rowley families, and Hobson is one of them. They lived in Rowley. They also lived in Bradford, which was Havel. It turns out that Mr. John Hobson was a deputy collector, and it's kind of interesting, Joe. You may not know this, but I didn't know it when I first saw it. It's the United States Internal Revenue, and he was in the 6th Collection District of Massachusetts. Deputy Collector's Office, number 1, Exchange, Water Street, Haverhill, May 4th, 1868.
Wow.
So, the tax assessed upon your home, upon your income for the year ending December 31st, 1867, amounting to $211.21. And an article in Section A was, I can't really make it out, Hatch or something, amounted to it's pretty much close to it. It actually was $2 for whatever that was, and it's $213.21.
200?
$213.21. It's added the 200 to the 211.
Wow.
I mean, the $2 to 211.
Back in the 1800s.
1800s, yes.
Ooh.
Yep. It's due and payable on or before May 15th, 1868. They received the payment on May 15th, 1868. So, that's what Mr. Hobson was doing. The family, and there's another piece of that's in here, is the bottom half of this. And it lists John. One of the things John also did, probably before he was a deputy collector, was he worked at the Rowley Brick Company, making bricks, firing bricks. And that was done on the Savage Farm. They had kilns down there and they were digging clay out of there. And he was actually an employee there at one point in time.
Are there any Hobsons left in town?
I don't think so. There may possibly be something, but this, it was interesting because the fellow bought this. It's on the, Hammond, North Andover. He actually found it in an antique shop in Marblehead.
Huh.
So it was kind of interesting.
Right. Yeah, where it's clearly marked Rowley,
Olin B.
1738.
Hammond
That's their family name.
from North Andover. Was the fellow that found it.
When did they believe it was manufactured? In somewhere 1860 range, or?
For the what?
It says, is that just the 1738, saying the Hobson family was 1738, or is it?
Yeah, there's a whole list of family members here. John Hobson, William, born November 1680, married 7 of September 1699. Lacheus, daughter of John Pearson,
she died, well, I could go through the whole list, we'll be here all night. So there's, probably at least a half a dozen family members here.
Pearson's a Newbury name, correct?
Right. Yeah, yeah. But
Byfield.
I'm sorry, Byfield.
Don't mix those two up. You'll really be in trouble.
I know.
Do we need to vote to accept it?
Not necessarily, I think, because they have actually put a note on it and said if we didn't want it, they would like it back. But it is, I mean, I was thinking the town collector may like to, that's the one, it's this one here that's very delicate. It's this piece that I had just read. It's got the, this is it here.
What's that?
Oh, is that the tax bill?
That's the tax bill,
What year?
1868. Tax on income, which is not taxes.
No,
It's federal government.
1938 was,
Yeah,
yeah. Wow.
it was the federal government that was collecting it for you.
So
Just-
Jim, what I would suggest if the board wants to accept this gift, that we vote, have a formal vote to accept it and send a letter to Mr. Hobson. The card he left acknowledging that donation and
Right,
that
to acknowledge
the
that.
town's
Yeah,
intent is
that-
to keep it since,
And I think that the town collector may like to frame
Yeah.
that and hang it in the
we
office.
could
Right.
try to display it, find a display case if you want, in
Yeah.
a location in the town hall. if you make it convenient.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be worth displaying.
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion to accept the donation.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
So,
Yeah, that's
and in the
really
meantime,
interesting.
I'll see what else I can find. It was kind of a busy week at the end of last week.
Just
Sorry?
just a quick thing, the
Busy.
Internal Revenue Service was
That was a nice
founded in
walk.
1862.
It was very well made.
The Internal Revenue Service was founded in 1862.
Yeah, it's during the Civil War.
62?
Right.
Oh, I didn't think it was the, okay.
Yeah, Lincoln started the federal income tax
Oh,
So,
okay.
in order to pay for the war.
That's right, I do have a 100-year code. Okay, new business number 5. Discuss creating a plan for removing dead trees along town roads. Selectman Peterson has observed dead trees along various town roads. He would like to discuss setting up a plan to remove these trees. Selectman Peterson.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I've had a number of residents also talk to me. Due to the excessive infestation of the, I believe anyway, the worms there, the gypsy moths. The last 2 years, I know in my neighborhood, very much along stretches of Dodge Road, Havel Street, Daniels Road, Newbury Road, Leslie Road. 2 years in a row, we had a severe infestation of the gypsy moths and the worms that the caterpillars, that they basically strip the trees. Last year, the last 2 summers were very, very dry, so I think it was a combination of the dry weather and the gypsy moths have killed a large number of large 70, 80-foot oak trees. And if you go down, I suggest you take a ride down Havel Street from between the Agawam Diner, particularly in the area of the police station. That stretch, and another stretch up by the Herrick Farm Stand at Dodge Road. You go down Leslie Road, Newbury Road, various trees along Weathersfield Street. Dodge Road has got a lot of, they're huge dead trees. And my concern obviously is a public safety issue because since they're dead, they're gonna fall. And I know last year in the Commonwealth, I think there were 2 different people who were killed by trees falling down. If you look at these trees, they're huge trees. It'll be very expensive to remove them. I had discussions, I've talked with Pat Snow, and he agrees that it's a problem. I met with Dan Folding at the Light Department. There's a great number of these trees, and the Light Department goes along and trims the wires, treat the limbs in the vicinity of their wires. However, these limbs are way high, much higher than what they normally trim. However, if those trees come down, they're gonna take down their wires. So Dan was receptive to taking a look at the situation. In fact, he discussed maybe having an arborist come in and give us an assessment. We have no money for this, obviously, so what I was going to Dan for was that if the light department could set aside some of their tree trimming money, and if we decide that we want to move forward, that in the fall town meeting, and I am agreeable to taking money out of the stabilization fund if need be, because to me it's a public safety issue.
It is definitely a.
When the snow comes and those trees get heavy, if they don't fall this winter, they're gonna fall next winter. There's another heavy infestation in the same areas of gypsy moss again this year, so I think it's, in talking to Pat Snow today, the tree warden, he agrees that we're probably gonna have to enlarge the tree budget by quite a bit in the next few budgets to account for these various trees. Now, a number of the trees are on town property, and we don't have any authority, as far as I know, to go in and take trees down on private property. But I believe, and we can check on it, that if there's limbs overhanging the street, we could be able to cut back like the light department does.
We have the legal, yeah,
the
I believe
limbs
we
that-
have the right to.
I think we do
Anything
too.
overhanging.
And we're not gonna cut people's trees in their yard, but anything that overhangs the street. And of course, it's an expensive proposition, because you get out, particularly on 133, you're gonna have to have police details. And I mean, these are big trees, these aren't just gonna be trimming limbs.
Right.
You're actually taking down some big trees, so. I wanted to bring up this discussion tonight, and to see if the board's interested in taking a look at this issue. Because what I would like to do is meet with Pat, I discussed it with him, and Dan Foley, to see if we come up with an assessment of the problem and what the fixes might be, and maybe get some kind of an estimate of what some of the costs might be. And maybe this year we can only do so many, pick out the worst ones. And with the idea being that if the fall town meeting, if and when we have one, that we appropriate money so that, and have a contract ready, so that immediately, say the town meeting's the end of October or early November, we can, before winter sets in, we can begin cutting some of this stuff down.
I think you're correct. I think the infestation is far worse this year.
Far worse.
I came down 95 early Saturday morning, came onto Haverhill Street. It looked like fall,
Yep,
all the
Yeah.
way down 95.
Oh, it's bad, and when they,
In Haverhill Street.
in 2 or 3 years, they will kill. And these are
Yeah.
oak trees that are probably 30, 40, 50 years old. I mean,
Right.
It's a real travesty that we're
Yeah.
gonna be losing. It's like Dutch elm disease years
Yeah.
ago, when all the big elm trees went. And but it's something we, as far as I'm concerned, it's a public safety issue that we really need to deal with. That's why I say, if need be, I don't know if we can use any free cash, but if not, take some money out of the stabilization fund, work with the light department, who do this all the time anyway, but follow with their expertise. And like I say, Pat Snow, the tree wardens, in 100% agreement that we look at this and make a decision before fall town meeting if we want to move ahead.
Have we moved through the gestation period, now they're becoming moths? Because
Right
I
now, the
noticed-
moths are out, yeah,
Yeah.
they're all done eating. The moths, my yard looks like
Yeah.
the butterfly factory. There's thousands of moths out in the woods. And I'm not just doing this for my house.
No.
No, it's all over town.
but it seemed like it was just about a year ago that we were, or maybe it was two, that we were saying that the electric department, and I think you made the comment that when you were first on, that there wasn't money in the budget, and you learned that you have to go out and do the work, and that the electric and the highway department were doing quite a job in trimming back the trees, but it's just gotten to a point with the gypsy moss that it's just getting overwhelming.
It's not just Raleigh. You go down, take a ride down
Everywhere.
Linebrook Road in Ipswich, for instance, and they got the same thing, the huge oak trees, and
Right.
a good number of them are in the same condition.
Yep.
And in fact, the state's got there's some trees along Route 1, not as bad as our trees, but they've got a number that they probably should look at too. But it's just I don't want to be the one sitting in this office when a year from now a tree
Lands
comes
on-
down and kills
Yeah.
someone,
Oh,
or
it's true.
seriously injures someone. And if we don't take any action, I don't suspect that we're gonna get it all first
If it's
year.
primarily oak trees we're talking about.
It's 99% oak trees.
Well, that's very valuable firewood, so
Yeah.
would we contract this out and maybe you get a pretty good price and say that they could keep the firewood and make them sell the firewood.
And of course, part of the problem is they lay their eggs on the trunks of the oak trees. So if someone takes an oak tree from Rowley and brings it up to Byfield, if there's eggs on there, they're gonna transport the problem to Byfield. So
They're gonna get
I don't know.
They're gonna
An
get there one
arborist
way or
can-
another.
An arborist can tell us what, but Dan mentioned that having an arborist take a look, and I think that's a good idea, that, none of us are experts on trees.
No, no.
But that's just, all I'm looking for is a vote of support, and if no one has any objections, I'll work with Dan and the tree warden and come up with a plan and come back to the board at some, the next 4, 5, 6 weeks with an operational plan.
Looking for a vote of support? Motion?
It doesn't have to be me. If someone else wants to get involved, that's fine. It's just something that, every time I drive down Haverhill Street, I just shudder looking at these trees.
Make a motion for a vote of support.
Second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded for a vote of support from Selectman
just-
Peterson.
Yeah, it's just informal,
Yep.
all I'm looking for is when we come back with a plan, that we'll take a serious look at it.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Like I
It
say, a
could be
number of residents
serious.
have come to me too with the same request.
I know,
People are
I
getting
tell,
concerned.
I tell some stories and I repeat myself often, but I still remember that an August day, I had my window open and watching TV in the house, and I heard this crack, like it was lumber splitting, and I look out the window and there's this tree from the other side of the road. It wasn't on, Charlie Yellow was still alive at the time, but he is probably just to the right, and it was just a forested area, and was coming right at my house, and I'm like, oh my, but it landed short of the wires, fortunately, and short of my house, but it covered the road, and a car had just passed by 5 minutes earlier, and they would have been
It's
crushed.
dangerous.
They would have been crushed, yeah. Charlie and I cleared the road before anybody responded. Okay, we have fiscal year 18 reappointments. Raleigh Board of Selectmen, Town Hall, Main Street, Raleigh. Dear Board, I am interested in being appointed for another year as an associate member of the Raleigh Planning Board. It is a privilege to work with such dedicated group of people. I feel that because I am familiar with and have a historical background of the Planning Board past decisions, I would be a beneficial associate member. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely yours, Gene Petrillo.
Jane has been a tremendous member of the planning board.
She's been there quite a while, too.
I talked her into re-signing, and I'm glad to see that she wants to. Yeah, she has been there.
Yeah, I served with Jane.
When I first moved
She
to
was-
town, we were at the Pine Grove School in the auditorium doing some, I don't know if it was town meeting stuff, but it was town stuff. And she was talking to me, and she said, I'd like to go on the board. And I said, okay, we just happened to have an opening on the planning board, so why don't you try that?
Yeah.
She did.
Excellent.
Make a
Excellent.
motion. for the
Motion?
report.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve Gene Petrillo as an alternate member of the planning board, expiring, is that 2018? June 30th, 2018. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, while we're talking about appointments, I don't want to steal Larry's thunder, but town moderator appoints the finance committee, and there is a vacancy that has been created on the finance committee. So that if anybody is interested in serving on the finance committee, probably if they contact the selectman's office, it would be the easiest, and they could forward the information to Larry and
Is the
Town
moderator,
moderator.
Moderator.
the moderator just is appointing,
the moderator in this town appoints these finance.
is that done at town meeting, or?
No, she yearly
Just
appointments,
appoints.
yeah. She just reappointed, in fact, Larry just got reappointed. But there's a vacancy that's been created, somebody didn't want to get
Did you
reappointed.
swear?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's just a matter of at our meeting, if
Yes.
there's people watching, anybody interested, that Larry's done it, by the way, has done a fantastic job with the finance committee. It's a very active group. They're very active in the budgets. They go in to visit the various town departments. And it's not an overwhelming job, and you don't have to be a finance expert. Larry's committee looks for common sense and willingness to, be involved in the budget process. So it's a valuable experience.
They've made a great contribution.
Yeah, they really have.
I believe they have.
Anybody that wants it can contact.
Yes, I've been involved.
Send a letter or an email. Probably it's easiest if they go through the office here.
Yes.
And they'll take care of forwarding to the appropriate.
We'll add that to the announcement list. Okay. We have fiscal year 17 transfer. We're still dealing with fiscal year 17 budget transfer. Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 33B, Sub B. Transfer the amount $152.90, date 7/7/2017. Transfer from account name call firefighter wages, line number is blank, account number 01-218-5115, balance before transfer $1,399.88. Transfer to account name firefighter wages, account name number 01-218-5112-0000. Balance before transfer $0.00. Due to increased call volume over the fiscal year, the overtime wages were not enough to cover actual costs. Requested by James Broderick, Fire Chief.
Give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, sir.
And I recuse myself.
Thank you. We have the minutes from May 15th, a regular Board of Selectmen meeting.
Give you the motion for May 15th,
Second.
2017, regular session.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes for the May 15th Board of Selectmen meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Give you a motion for the,
Executive session for April 24th and May 22nd.
give you that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes for the Board of Selectmen executive meetings for April 24th and May 22nd. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have announcements. The Merrimack Valley Planning Commission is holding a housing needs workshop as part of the town's participation in the MVPC's Regional Housing Production Plan this Wednesday evening, July 10th at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall Annex. The workshop is being held during the Planning Board's scheduled meeting. Town residents are invited to attend, ask questions, and offer input. Rowley residents have free outdoor pool access at the YMCA's Rowley campus at 390 Weathersfield Street. Resident pool access hours are Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's a free concert on the Town Common featuring the band 3 Blocks East, Saturday, August 5th, 2017, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And they have been giving concerts, I think this is their third year, and they do a good job, and we appreciate their offer to give us some music on the Town Common. Attention all Korean War veterans who served in Korea. the Eastern Essex Veterans Services District is issuing the Korean Ambassador for Peace Medal. Please contact the Veterans Office at 978-356-3915. Information on the Pine Road School project is available on the town's website at www.townofraleigh.net. The town has the following vacancies: Finance Committee, 1 position; Historic District Commission and Historical Commission; Open Space Committee, 2 seats; Fence Viewer, 3 positions; Wood, Lumber, and Bark Inspector; Zoning Board of Appeals Associate, 3 seats; Parks and Recreation Committee, 1 seat; Deputy Shellfish Constable, 2 positions. For more information on these positions, please contact the Selectmen's Office at 948-2372. The Raleigh Food Pantry is in need of donations. It's summertime, and they are in need of donations. Donations can be left at the Raleigh Public Library. The food pantry is open on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and on Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Motion to adjourn? Second.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you.